Hi, welcome, Dr. Susan Corso, to the Miracles Happen Fertility Podcast.
Thank you so very much. It's very nice to be here.
I am so delighted. This is going to be a cool conversation. We were saying beforehand that I did a whole series on chakras, but to have an expert be here to talk about this, and of course, from your perspective too, it's wonderful, especially around fertility, right? Because that's what this podcast is about. So
happy to do so.
So happy. So I want to actually just invite you first to, because you do, I was saying before, so you do 100 billion things. What don't you do? For those who are watching, there's a beautiful painting behind you that I thought, oh my gosh, really? Are you an artist too? Because whoa.
I am, but not a painting artist, a word artist.
Yes.
I write
word
books.
Artist.
I definitely write books. I've written more than 30 books, a lot of them fiction. And the fiction is sort of, I have two lives. I have a counseling, spiritual mentoring life, because I've worked with people spiritually for 40 years on everything from A to Z and back again. And I write books, and I can't do one without the other. The books I write, first of all, I write some nonfiction. I've written books about chakras, which is one of the reasons that we're actually even having this conversation. But the fiction I write is for what I would call conscious people. And in the sense that, and I don't mean to imply that there are unconscious people. What I mean to imply is this: there are people who want to live their lives in a conscious way. They want to make deliberate choices. They want to look for the meaning in their lives. They want to be in service. They want to contribute to the planet and to the species. And so my books are about conscious people, because we don't read about ourselves in books. So I write mystery novels about an intuitive investigator.
Oh, stop it.
Seriously, I write butch femme romance novels about relationships in a group of friends in Boston. And I write historical fiction about four sisters in the 1890s who really weren't very good at obeying the social rules. Let's just put it that way.
You have intrigued me. I shall check it out. I was reading part of your website, and I just wanted to read part of this. You said about your writing, I wanted to know how to live a life based on the spiritual ideas that so inspired me. As part of that journey, I learned more from novels about how to apply and live the principles than from self-help books. I was like, done.
That's so true. That's
awesome.
So true. And I think there's a really good reason for that. So often self-help books are full of what I would call composite examples. So I don't mind composite examples. I mean, there is such a thing as HIPAA regulations, and you don't want to go about telling other people's stories that are not yours to tell. That's called gossip. But composite stories, the only way I can say this, Maria, they to my ears, to my eyes, they lack the core truth of the aha that the author is trying to teach. Right? Where when you hear about the person who's, let's say, manifesting a soulmate and fails because she's really not asking the right questions, or he's really not asking the right questions, you go, oh, wait, maybe that's why I'm not, right? Because you see that the person is working the principles to create the life they want, right? As opposed to this hypothetical, oh, well, let's say this person did this and this and this and this and this, which isn't real. Like you say to yourself, if you saw that in a made-for-television movie, would that really work? The answer is no. Because you go, nah, that doesn't happen. No, right? Where a lot of us blow it the first time we're creating something, maybe the 7th time or the 27th time as well, because we're learning, right? So I write about real people and real experiences they're having. That's in the name of fiction. So you can look at it and you can go, oh, wow, that's how she did that. I never thought about it that way, right? Which is the refrain in my counseling sessions.
Yes.
I
Yes.
never thought about it that way.
Yes. Well, you
Well,
know, when you hear that from a client, it's like, yes, good.
right. You go, oh, good. Good. We're on the right track in that case, right?
We're headed somewhere. Yes. How did you come to do the work that you do? Because you said 40 years you've been doing counseling, spiritual counseling specifically, yes? Or
Yes.
Mhm.
All spiritually based. And for me, what that means is I don't need you to be a Baptist to go to heaven. But if you need to be a Baptist to go to heaven, that's okay with me.
Sure.
Not my thing.
Mhm.
I talk to people about normal therapy things, right? Except I talk about them in the context of their faith.
Beautiful.
So, great. You want to change, you want to grow, you want to heal. How is your God, whoever that might be? And I don't care. You can call it Harold, you can call it what, spirit, source, whatever.
Yahweh.
I don't think, and I also don't think it cares what you call it. I think God cares
Isn't that a beautiful point?
That's right. I think God cares that we call it, right? And the only it doesn't have to be God. That's just the shortest word, right? The point is, the idea is that there's a plan and you have a place in it. I have a place in it. I once upon a time gave a sermon called "You're Not That Special," and it was you're not the person who God left out. Right? It didn't happen that way. It never happens that way. You have something to do here, and I need you to do what you're doing here. I need Maria Rothenberg, right? As herself doing what she's doing, the way she's doing it. And you need a Susan Corso who's talking about how chakras get hooked up into people, right?
Yes.
Okay. But everyone should have that faith about themselves. That's my point, right? So what happened actually was I was an intuitive from the time I was a child. And I spent really basically 20 years saying, yeah, no, no thanks. Don't wanna, because as so often happens to people who are intuitive, the first things you tune into are the quote unquote bad things. And it's because the emotional intensity of the bad things is so much stronger, right? I mean, you get all A's on your exams for a week and you're really happy about that. But then, the bus rolls over your dog. The bus rolls over your dog has much more emotional intensity than the all A's, even though you're happy about the A's, right?
Because the A's are how it's supposed to be.
That's right. That's very well said. So I went to go see, actually, somebody gave me a gift to have a psychic reading on my 25th birthday. Okay, whatever. I walked in the door. The woman knew my name and my birth date, I think. And she said to me, you should be reading for me. And I went, what? Anyway, one of the things she said was that I was a color healer in Egypt.
Oh,
right. And so I sort of cocked an eyebrow at her and said, yeah, right. So a friend was taking me out for dinner. It was my 25th birthday. So we go out for dinner and I'm telling her this whole thing. And she goes, well, there's a spiritual bookstore around the corner. Let's just go. East West Books, right? Let's go look for books on color healing and see, how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we go, and we stand in front of the books on color healing, and 3 of them fall on the floor in front of my feet.
Oh, get the heck out of here.
For real. For real. And her name was Susan. And I turned to her, I said, Suze? She said, yeah,
that totally happened.
They did. Okay. So I buy the books. It's my birthday. Why not? Right? I buy the books.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
That's right. I'm 50 pages into the first one. And I turned to her and I said, this is really weird. I know this stuff already.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how I know it. I don't know where it came from, but I can tell you what the meaning of every single color in the world is.
Wow.
So we started talking, and a friend of hers was in trouble, was a dancer, and her knees were bad. She said, can I bring Stephanie to see you? And can you sort of tune in and figure out what's going on in her knees? I don't know. Sure. Whatever. I had a full-time job. I was working on Broadway at the time. Okay. So Stephanie comes, and I take one look at her and I go, well, are you going to tell your grandmother you're mad, or are you not? She was 14. She said, I wasn't. I said, really? Well, then your knees are going to hurt. You have to stand up for yourself.
That's awesome.
She went home. She told her grandmother off because her grandmother was critical and angry all the time. And the pain in her knees vanished. So my friend Susan comes home to me and she goes, I know somebody else who'd like to talk to you.
And that's how it starts.
That's right. And so this a practice happened to me, because people
I love that.
were coming and saying, there's something I don't understand. I don't know why. And by tuning in, and by that I mean paying attention to the person's energy, which is like this whole sort of weird woo thing that is so not woo, actually, which I will explain in a minute. I could understand why they were having trouble. And I would say to them, well, have you thought about it this way? And they go, oh, no, whoa, really? One of my favorite stories about a client ever was, I was working with somebody I was partnered with somebody at a workshop, a spiritual workshop. And the kid I was talking to was adopted and angry, early 20s, male, angry as he could be. And I said to him, I said, that's not how I think of adoption. He had gone on and on and on about rejection and this and this and this. No one loved me, blah, blah, blah. No one wanted me, blah, blah. And I said, really? I said, I don't think about adoption that way at all. He goes, no. He said, how do you think about it? I said, I think about it this way. You got here, you looked around in your crib one day, you went, oh, if this is it, this isn't it. I got to get out of here. I have something to do. And this situation that I'm in, whatever it is not going to let me do it. So I got to do something else. So I look at adopted people as hugely resilient, not rejected by any stretch of the imagination at all, and as amazingly courageous. Here you are, a person, before you can speak English, say what you want, or English or any language for that matter, right? I mean, other than ow or I'm hungry, right? Those are your basic sentences, right? And you sleep and eliminate. Okay, so those skills are not exactly big communication skills. Your spirit was so strong that it went, oh no, this is not going to work for me. I got to make something different happen. And this kid looked at me like, first of all, like I was from Planet Q, of course. And
because you are. No.
Maybe. That could be.
Yes.
And said, my whole life just changed. How did you do that? Well, I didn't mean to do that. I was just telling him my perspective on things. And I've always thought more laterally than linearly. More like, fine, I don't see a whole lot of difference between one person's Lord and Savior and Lakshmi, for example, who is the Hindu avatar of prosperity, right? Listen, if you need God to look like Lakshmi, I'm good with that. So is Lakshmi. So is God. Fine. It could be your teddy bear. It could be your cat. It could be your mother. It doesn't matter. So I've always been sort of thinking outside, what box? right? Those boxes are called coffins, and no thank you,
Mhm.
right?
Not today.
Right. I'd like to make the bigger choice. And I always, always, always looked for meaning. And
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl said that human beings can live without a lot of things, a lot. Oxygen is one they can't, but the other one we can't is meaning.
Mm.
If your experience has meaning for you, and it doesn't matter how simple it is, like something stupid, right? You go to the lab and you give blood and you get a call from the lab 3 days later and they go, we lost your sample, come back.
Mm.
And you're like, time off work, right?
Mm.
But you get there, and instead of being obnoxious with the tech says, and the tech being obnoxious to you, the tech says to you, oh my God, I have to say thank you to you. Really, why? Well, because we lost your sample, we've changed our whole protocol, and now they're double checking things that we didn't used to double check. And so it's never going to happen to anybody else, right? The way it happened to you, which I'm really sorry for. Now let me take your blood. So what do you go home and tell your best friend? Right? You don't tell your best friend that you were inconvenienced and had to go give blood. You tell your best friend, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. The whole lab is different because of me. Meaning. That's what meaning is. And that's really where I live in the world, in meaning.
This is completely perfect for the fertility world. Because
yes,
it really is. What you said before was, people, Jane Smith are supposed to be doing what you're doing. I also wonder about your thoughts on when things happen to us, if we are meant to experience those things, right? Like a diagnosis or those kinds of things. I personally believe, and this is probably completely outside the box, quote unquote, we choose these things because, it's a part of our plan. But I'm wondering your insights on that. So fertility stuff is hugely traumatic, right? It is a huge, big shift in just being and living. And I wonder about those kinds of things, what your insights are on that. And then we'll totally get into the chakra stuff because I feel like I can talk to you about everything.
Well, here's what I think. I think that we have set it up for ourselves that we learn faster through pain than through pleasure. Right?
Yep.
And like it, don't like it, tell me you believe that or you don't. Most of us grow through the hard things that happen, not the easy thing. Right? My dad was forewarned, alarming. My dad was killed in a plane crash when I was 5. And it was a T in the road. I had some serious choices to make at age 5. Although I didn't know that. And many, many years later, I realized that I had chosen to grow up without my dad. Now, that goes along with what you just said. I think we set up for ourselves on the spirit side outlines of things, right? So in point of fact,
yes,
I didn't choose to grow up without my dad. That's the format that the storyline that I chose took, right? The storyline I chose was I needed to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet as a female person in the world. Well, now look at the rest of my life. I have stood up to doctors, to institutions, including the IRS. I sued the IRS and won.
Nice.
For real, because I knew this time that I came here to learn to stand in what I know. Right? So, sure, we learn through hard things, but we can also learn through easy things when it dawns on us that we can, and it's equally valuable, right? But the hero's journey
Yes.
that so many of us have been living is all about hardship and going it alone, and I can do it. Well, if you ever read about the heroine's journey, now here comes my writer self, right? The heroine's journey is this. I can't do all that stuff. I'm not good at all that stuff. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a team. And a bunch of us are going to do this together, and we're all going to win that way. Right? Because like the truth is that I don't really need to be an expert in everything. It's okay with me if you're the expert in fertility and I'm the expert in chakras. I'm good with that. Right?
Yeah.
I know a little something about fertility. I've had a baby, but that's not my expertise, which is one of the reasons I need you, is that you're an expert on that, right? Everybody has their own expertise, and it's called purpose on a spiritual level, right? I don't have my purpose. Oh, yes, you do, darling. Look around your life. What are you doing for everybody else? That's your purpose. Of course it is. Don't be silly. It doesn't have to be grandiose or guilt. It can be tiny, right?
Oh gosh, those tiny things. I love them. I love the tiny things. They add up. You have no idea how much life you can change.
Exactly. You don't know the morning of that you open the door in the mall, and the mom with the 3 kids and the squalling and the stroller and the diaper bag is about to cut off her own head. She's had it. You have no idea. You may have just saved the woman's life. Right? You smile at her and go, oh yeah, 3 kids. Ow. Mom's got it. Mom has been seen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Although folks in the fertility world would be like, I wish I had what she had.
That could very well be.
Yes.
That could very well be. And fertility.
I want to cut off my own head.
Fertility is a wonderful, magical thing that has been made into, in my opinion, a pathology. Fertility is not a pathology. It just isn't. It's a natural thing that women and men have been doing for millennia, right? So suddenly, to get rid of the midwives, we had to make doctors supreme. So doctors suddenly know more about women's bodies than we know about our own. I actually have been known to say to gynecologists straight to their faces, when did you last have a speculum in your vagina?
I'm assuming a male physician.
Yeah, it makes them quiet. It makes them really quiet, really fast. Okay, maybe it is cold.
You think?
Yeah.
Yes. I was in love with I have a new doc from a year ago, and I was in love with her, and she did my first exam, and she asked permission every time she touched my body. Is it okay if I touch your left arm now? Or, she asked permission every single time.
Talk about consent. Miracles.
Oh, she's amazing. Amazing.
Miracles.
Okay. Well, we can talk forever about this, but I am curious I'd love to talk about the chakras and from your perspective. And then also, if we can end with some practical things that people can do like now, like today, to help their chakra system.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Let me go backward in order to go forward.
Yes.
When most people go to medical school, they study 11 systems: circulatory, respiratory, skeletal, blah blah. You learn those in the 8th grade. If you know anything about numbers and mysticism, you know that 11 is not a mystical number, that the whole number of human wholeness is 12. There are 12 bodily systems in human beings. And what is not asked in medical school is what makes the circulatory system circulate. Yes, I understand. I understand that the heart is a pump, right? But the lymph system doesn't have a pump. So much for that argument, right? What makes the respiratory system respire?
Mhm.
I would call that life force. Life force is the 12th system. And the way to view it so that you can understand it is through a prism. And that's what reveals the chakras.
Cool.
The chakras are your life force, the actual divine spark that is right now, this very second, growing your eyelashes. And I swear to you, you have not thought about it in the last minute.
No.
Your eyelashes are growing right now. You are making bone marrow. You are making red blood cells. Like, if you actually had to think about all the things that your systems are doing, forget it. You put your head down on your desk and never get up. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I love people saying, you have to control your thoughts. Wait a minute. You only have control over 10% of your brain. So let's start with that. Right? 10% on a really hot day, like when you're firing on all your pistons, 10%, right? You don't have to control your thoughts. What you have to do is notice them and go, what am I thinking? How is my thinking continuing to help create my reality, right? So if every time you have to go to the fertility doctor, you're scared you're going to get a no, or you're scared you're going to get a yes, or you're scared you're going to get a not maybe. So what is your neurology learning? It's learning fear. How do you undo that? Well, I was saying this before we started. I've had plenty of women come to me who were having trouble getting pregnant. And in all the years that I have worked with people, particularly with medical intuition and people's chakras, I have never once discovered a woman who had what she would call an infertility problem wired up the same way. Right? So, okay, my uterus is near my second chakra, which is orange. So if I wear an orange sweater every single day, I'm going to get pregnant. You don't know what's stopping you from getting pregnant, but your chakra system knows. You got to ask it. So here's the coolest thing. The coolest thing in the whole wide world about human beings is that we have bodies. Now, I know a lot of us are like, I don't know. Like, really? Are you sure? Yeah, I am.
Convince me. No.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you, this is absolutely why. Bodies don't lie. The coolest thing in the world about the fact that bodies don't lie is that bodies don't lie because they can't lie. Right? Bodies tell the truth all the time. So if you're not getting pregnant, what kind of truth is your body telling you? What's really going on? Now, there are mechanical problems that cause an inability to get pregnant, right? Like cysts in the way, endometriosis. I mean, they're all, an IUD.
Block tubes. Like,
yeah, right. I mean, there are mechanical reasons. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the mental, emotional, spiritual reasons behind the symptoms. I never met a woman who wanted to get pregnant that had the same convolution psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually ever, right? Now, one piece of advice I have given women who wanted to get pregnant for a really long time, particularly the tall, slender, gorgeous ones, is if you're holding your stomach in all the time, stop. Right? Really? You really want to grow on a flat washboard? I don't. I want a soft, yummy place to grow. So let's start with that, right? Oh, are you holding your stomach in right now? And they go, how do you know? Well, because I'm a female person socialized in the West, and hello, right? So let's have a belly. Let's just start there. Ooh, what? No.
That's ugly. That's not attractive.
Right. Well, really, because making a place for a baby to grow requires darkness, right? A little bit of mystery, because we don't we know the science of it, but there's magic with science too, right? There's that.
There sure is.
Tip over, right? Here's one, happens all the time. Women so used to wanting a baby that they forget about having a baby, right? So,
oh my gosh, can you say that again?
yes, women wanting a baby so badly, they forget about having a baby.
Yes, that just gives me chills. Yes,
Right?
for that.
Absolutely amazing. It's like people tell me they're seekers. I go, really? Do you ever find anything? Let's start with that. Aren't you trying to find something? Oh no, I'm just seeking.
I'm just a seeker.
Forever.
I'm not a
Forever.
finder.
Yeah, no. How about you find, seeking, finding? Because the next thing that happens in that path, seeking and finding, right? Seeking a baby. Well, you'd like to find a baby.
Yes.
Your baby. Right? Well, the next
Yeah.
thing that you get to do after you find the baby is you're the baby's keeper. Right? So what do? You don't stay with the seeking, otherwise you're seeking all the time. Right? You don't stay with the finding because that's not really what you want. Finding a baby is one thing. What you want to do is keep a baby. So are you imagining yourself with a baby, or are you imagining yourself hearing about being pregnant?
Yes.
Wait a minute, right? I had a woman come to me once. She had one child. She wanted another one. She wasn't getting pregnant. And of course, her doctor had scared the living bejesus out of her, right? And told her she was having a geriatric pregnancy. I
Yes.
about went and punched
Oh my
him.
God. Thank you.
She was 37.
Oh,
I said,
God.
honey, people who are 37 have been having babies for centuries. Come on, let's get with the program here. So, okay, which is why I say it's become the pregnancy industrial complex, right? The pathology. No. Wait a minute. Let's take back the power of this, right? Think about this. You are born with an egg factory as a woman.
Yep.
In your body. Who thought that up?
God, source, Yahweh.
Yeah, you don't have to find the eggs. You know where they are. They know where they are. They know what their job is. Every other month, kick one out, right? It's really simple. So how about, I said to her, instead of saying that you're the mother of one, you start to hold yourself in mind. Let's call her Heather, right? I'm Heather, mother of two. Heather, mother of two. Just say those 3 words to yourself. Every time you think about this baby thing and you're scared and the doctor freaks you out and this, Heather, mother of two. No, I'm Heather, mother of two. Mother of two, really. Well, she was pregnant in about 3 months. What did she do? She changed her mind from wanting, right? It's interesting. I want a baby. Another way to say that translated is I lack a baby.
That's correct. Yes.
Right? I want a baby. And so what does the universe say to you? You go, I want a baby. And the universe says, yes, you want a baby.
Okay. We're going to give you more of that.
Right. How about I'm having a baby? Ooh. But that feels like a lie if you're not pregnant. Right? Oh no, I'm having a baby. I definitely am going to have a baby. Well, it puts it in the future. I will have a baby, puts it in the future. No. I am caring for my baby right now. And the easiest way for you to care for your baby before your baby shows up in form is to care for your baby's mama.
Goodness gracious, you are so speaking my language. I hope y'all are hearing this. Really.
She didn't pay me. I swear. She didn't coach me. She didn't pay me. I swear. I'm just saying it. Right?
Yep.
Care for your baby's mama, right? Fall crazy in love with your baby's daddy. I don't care if it's a syringe. Fall crazy in love with your baby's daddy and create an environment of love, of yes. Right? So the first thing I always tell pregnant people who want to be pregnant is you take that baby of yours and you snuggle that baby in each one of your chakras. You put that baby in your first chakra, which is beautiful red, like a big cherry red. You put that baby in your second chakra, which is pumpkin orange. You put that baby in your third chakra, which is egg yolk yellow, right? So those three chakras each represent something. The first one is life force. The second one is passion. And the third one is power, right? What are you doing? You are enlivening, impassioning, and empowering your baby. Whoa. Well, you got 5 more chakras to go. Up your spine. And chakras are not hockey pucks. Discrete, flat, thick discs of color on your spine. No, they are I see them as 3-dimensional spheres.
Me too. Yes.
That hang in the middle of your body, like in front of your spine and behind your sternum, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And here's the thing about chakras, which is also true about bodies, but we don't like to think about it like this because this is not what Western medicine is, right? Western medicine, the premise of Western medicine is divide and conquer. Right?
Yep.
The premise of Eastern medicine is look at the whole body. Right? So that's one of the reasons why acupuncture and Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine are helpful sometimes with fertility, where Western medicine will not, because Western medicine will think about your uterus or your ovaries or your fallopian tubes or your whatever, as
your
opposed
sperm,
to
your
or you. Oh, you, like all of you. Oh, huh. Because believe you me, darling, when you are pregnant, all of you is pregnant. Your eyelashes are pregnant.
Yes.
Your ears are pregnant. Because by the time you're ready to have that baby, you know you have never not been pregnant. You have been pregnant for your whole life forever. And you are, I mean, like when I was pregnant, I was at the corner of 57th Street in Madison on a summer day. It was really, really hot. And I was like, okay, I'm lying down on this sidewalk in New York City and having this baby. I've had it. I am not carrying it around for one more minute. Right. It was hot. It was sweaty. It was gross. I was like, stop. Right. So welcome your baby into your life. Right. Make an environment of love for this baby. What, like if you were going to be your baby, what would you want to walk into? Right. And the other thing is, and nobody ever says this, right? But the minute we switch to thinking about fertility, we are not thinking about having sex, or we're thinking about having sex, but we're having sex to make a baby.
Yep. It becomes serious.
That's right. Excuse me. If you are having sex to make a baby and you are not having fun, oopsie. Because if making babies isn't fun for the people who are making the baby, the people who are making the baby are doing it wrong. So no, you're not making a baby. You're making love. You're creating connection. You're making intimacy. You're making an environment of welcome for a child, for a spirit. You are soothing any of your own fears, aches, pains. You're bringing them to your partner. You're saying, oh my God, I'm so scared going to the doctor tomorrow. Blah, I'm not going to sleep tonight. And he's going to say, baby, I'm going to wipe you out and you are going to sleep just fine. Because that's what that investment is.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you say this, because of course I'm thinking about, fertility treatments, which are in a sterile room with bright fluorescent lights above you, beeping sounds, sonograms on the screen. When this same doc that I just hooked up with, she said she's considering doing IUIs and creating a ceremony.
What is an IUI?
An IUI is an intrauterine insemination process.
Okay,
so
I just didn't know that.
Sorry, I'm
right.
speaking that third language. So she was talking about doing these procedures in her office, but like in an exam room, but making it a ceremony. Lights low, non-toxic candles, some beautiful solfeggio frequency music or something like this, right? And like prayer. And I'm like, oh my God, this
Yes.
needs to happen, because it is that energy, right? It's this making
Yes.
love, it's creation like this. It's totally spiritual.
Yeah. And if it's not, and if you're not having fun, and if it's become this trial, the first thing I would say to any of you who are in that place is stop.
No.
I know they're saying to you, oh my God, the clock is ticking and you're getting to it.
Yep.
Stop. Wait. Fall back in love. Stop until you can hold hands with your partner, whomever this might be, and you still get goosebumps. You still get butterflies in your tummy, because it's that excitement and that lightness and that joy and that, oh, wow, that discovery is what you're actually looking for to create an environment that makes for pregnancy.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
And I am telling you, I'm speaking this to you as a woman who has been through dreadful tragedy when it comes to a baby. So, and I warn you of this up front. 30 years ago, I had a child who died the day he was born.
Oh my.
And it completely changed my life. Completely. We named him Isaac, which is a Hebrew name that means she laughed. And I was determined that there'd be joy out of Isaac's life. So I go around telling pregnant ladies, yes, you can do this. Don't worry about it. You're not alone. Someone is helping you. There are angels standing right behind you. Don't worry about it. And yes, you can have this baby. Having a baby was the best physical experience of my life ever, better than the best orgasm. I kid you not. And yes, it's okay, even though I lost my son. Right?
Yeah.
And very interestingly, many, many years later, I realized that what I had been saying to the universe, talk about not saying the right thing, was not ever that I wanted to be a mother. What I said was, I want to have a baby. And what I actually wanted was the physical experience of having a baby, which is exactly what I had. And the man who was my husband at the time remains my best friend. And we share something that none of our partners can share with us, but it doesn't matter, because we have both gone about doing good because of our loss.
Yeah.
Right. And it's heartbreaking to lose. It's heartbreaking to lose a child.
Oh gosh, I think that's a giant understatement. Yeah.
It totally is, because here's why, is because every single bit of your brain goes, okay, this is out of order. This is not how this is supposed to go down. Oopsie. Well, it did. Right. I was able to connect with the soul of my son, and he said to me one day, thanks. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, I only needed to be there for a couple hours. I just had assignments for everybody in neonatal intensive care. We got it done. I went home. That's all I needed. And I learned something really, really, really important. And it's something I have said to more doctors and more nurses and more doulas and more midwives than I care to tell you. And that's this: babies have souls. They come here with stuff to do. And you invite that child into your life. So there's I don't know if you've ever bought a house, but there's a lot of moving pieces to get a house bought, what with, lawyers and bankers and money and mortgage people and real estate people and blah, 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 8 million things, right? And it's
literally
the day
moving.
that all comes together and the papers get signed and suddenly you own a house. It takes 30 minutes, but the lead up to it is a lot of stuff. Same thing's true with a baby, right? There's a lot of coordinating spiritually to make that happen. So yes, there are things that you absolutely can do to start to work with your chakra system and your own fertility right now.
What are those things?
Okay. So the first thing I would like to do is offer your listeners a free gift. By this, I mean a free gift, right? You don't have to put your email address in to get it, right? There is a second page that comes up that if you want to know more about my chakra work, you can put your email address in. But the first page is something I call the less mores. And that is that it has been revealed to me over the years that each chakra has behaviors that go with it, right? Let's take the first chakra, which is about your tribe. It's about your clan. It's about survival. It's about food, clothing, shelter, warmth, coolth, whatever you need, right? Well, the less for the first chakra is complain less. And the more for the first chakra is thank more.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
So what I would do is I would say to you, okay, start to pay attention to the sensations in your own body around your chakras. And the important thing about your chakras isn't that you have a red and they're not beach balls, an orange and a yellow, right? So it's like this. If I play on a piano, middle C, and I say to you, Maria, this is music, you would say to me, no, it's not. It's a note. A chakra is a note. The important thing about the chakras is not that you have them. It's that they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right. Because what happens if you're going along in your chakras, you come up to your fifth chakra, which is turquoise colored. It's about expression, right? It's in your throat. And it's about saying what your yes is and what your no is, basically. And you notice, whenever I get an allergy attack, my throat is always sore. And I have a cold 3 times a year. And I often get bronchitis. And my glands are swollen over here. Wait a minute. What is going on in my fifth chakra, right? Well, if somebody is wounded and, with a gunshot wound and you bring them into the emergency room, you don't poke the wound, right? You work with the chakras around it. You work with the tissues around it. So let's say there's something either you've said that you want to take back, right? Which will cause a fifth chakra problem, or you need to say that you don't have the courage to say, right? And if you're female, I'm pretty sure that's the second one, not the first usually. Right.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Exactly. So, okay, here you have this fifth chakra issue. Well, what do? You go to your fourth chakra, which is your heart chakra, your personal heart. Your personal heart is emerald green, warm, yummy, beautiful, right? Lots of love there. And then you go to your sixth chakra, which is indigo, which is that color no one ever knows what it is. Right? So indigo is purple and blue together. The best blue and the best purple together. Right? So here's your intuition. And here's your heart, love. So what do love and intuition have to say about expression? What's the loving choice that you can make about your expression? What's the intuitive choice you can make about your expression? And when you have a fifth chakra issue on the less mores, the less is criticize less. Look around your office. Are you criticizing a lot? So you stop criticizing. What do you do instead? You celebrate more. What do? You go around and you tell everybody they're doing a good job. And then you go in the bathroom mirror and you say it to yourself.
Beautiful.
Right? We forget.
Because that's what you would do for your baby. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly what you would do for a baby. So just because you don't have a baby in physical form yet doesn't mean you don't have a baby.
No. Oh gosh, spirit baby work has taught me so much about that. Yes.
Right. Babies have souls. Babies
They
are
do.
choosing you. So
They're
when the
hanging out with you,
doctors,
man.
when doctors start to scare you, you go, yeah, okay, that's a doctor projecting their fear onto you. Now, every doctor, particularly an OBGYN, has every reason to be afraid. They're paying almost half of what they earn to make sure they're allowed to do what they can do. That's called malpractice insurance. And you think about this, that's before the doctor has a pen in his office or her office, a pad, an exam room, an office. They're paying $150,000 to $250,000 a year so that they can practice. Hell yes, the doctors are scared, right? One of the things I almost always ask doctors is, how much am I going to have to manage your fear? Because I'm really not interested. I want you to manage your own fear. I want you to be a grown-up about your fear, and I'll be a grown-up about mine. And let's meet in the middle and see if we can help each other.
Love it.
Right? That's why I say to people, no, there's you and there's your spouse, and then there's the relationship between you. There's 3 of you. Right?
Yes.
You're gonna add a baby? There's 4. Whoa, right? Let's tell some truth. So generally, to make a baby, you want to err on the side of kindness. You want to be gentle. And I'm not talking about falsely gentle and, cooing baby talk. Babies are tough. They really are. And they're springy, right? They bounce. So in real life, humans are tough, as delicate as we are, right?
Yeah.
But creating a baby requires every bit of your chakra system. Your whole life force has to be involved in this. So if your listeners would like to go to chakras.susancorso.com, they may, and I'll give that to you so you can put it in the show notes, Maria.
You bet.
They may download one of 2 versions, because I'm a Libra and I couldn't make up my mind of this less more's list, and start to work with your chakras right now. Now, there is depth work that you can do. You absolutely can do. I wrote 8 workbooks on how to manage your own energy system, right?
Beautiful.
And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you should be taught how to manage your own energy system, just like you're taught to brush your teeth.
Yes, indeed.
It's a hygiene thing, right? Like, wow, you walk into, and all of us know what energy is. Even the people who don't believe in energy, every single one of us has walked into a room and gone, oh, there have been people fighting in here. I got to get out of here. Ooh, ick. Ooh, ick, this doesn't feel good, right? Well, managing your energy is about finding out what parts of you are inviting this spirit into your life, and what parts of you are unwittingly, unconsciously rejecting this spirit from your life, right? If your third chakra is tangled because you think you're going to have to quit the job you love in order to have this baby, that's a conversation to have with your spouse. Right? Like, whoa. Because if what you're putting out there is fear that you're not going to be able to really be you, but this really deep want this baby thing, the universe doesn't know what to do. Right? What are you choosing? Let's start with that. I'm keeping my baby close. I'm holding her. I'm holding him. I'm keeping everything precious about this being, and keeping the love that my husband or wife and I have for one another to bring to this magical spirit who is coming to bless us, right? What are you saying? What are you saying? It doesn't mean you can't talk about your fear. Don't misunderstand me. Of course you can. And you need to. What you don't need to do, though, is say it and 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 say it. Because what you're doing is you're digging neural pathways in your own brain, right?
Oh my gosh, there's so much to know about this. Yes.
That's right. No, you don't want to do that. You want, and I am not suggesting superstition. You say, oh my God, I'm so afraid. Cancel. Wrong.
Right. Oh
Wrong.
no, the black cat thing.
Yeah,
Right.
no. It isn't control your thoughts,
Mm.
right? It's
Notice them.
choose your thoughts, witness them, notice them. Do you like them? Great. Do you not like them? Maybe you want to change your mind.
Moving on.
Yeah, but kindly, gently.
Yes.
Not
Compassion.
not cruelly. Well, the 8th chakra that I work with, interestingly, is rosy pink, like the shirt I'm wearing. And it sits about 6 inches in front of your thymus gland, which is outside your body. And your thymus gland is where your immunity is.
Yes, right.
Right. It stops you from getting the flu, right? Or a cold or whatever, right? Well, that chakra was discovered by the rabbis in the 1870s as this amazing notion that they called God's love. So when you feel like your personal love, your green heart chakra hurts too badly because you're so scared and you're despairing, right? Wait a minute. Take that desire, take the wish for a baby, and go to your 8th chakra and sit in a cradle of rosy pink.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, let God.
You need to create a meditation.
Okay, I'd be glad to do it.
That'd be awesome.
This is, it's not like a birthday party. Like if I want you to come to my birthday party, Maria, I'd say, Maria, my birthday is the 12th of October. Come to my birthday party. Right? It's at this time and this place. No, don't bring anything. Right? No, an invitation for a baby is over and over and over and over and over again, right? I invite you to have breakfast with me, baby. I invite you to go to work with me. I invite you to nurse. I mean, like, how are you keeping this baby close?
Oh,
right?
I love this. There is so much more that we can say about this.
Are we running out of time? I'm not even paying attention.
We are out of time and I have to go, unfortunately, because I want to hear more about what you have to say. I would love to have you back actually to talk more about.
I would be glad to do that. Let's figure it out.
Energetic, spiritual fertility. Because we've talked about all kinds of things, and I will definitely be putting the links to your website and the free gift on the show notes so people can start that work right now. And
I'll send you an email so that you don't have to remember it.
Thank you. Well, I wrote it on my notes already, but you're welcome to send an email. And folks, please reach out to Dr. Corso for, oh my gosh, you're full of information and wisdom. And I thank you so much.
My sincere pleasure.
I'll be outreaching to schedule some more. And also I want to read your book. So
absolutely. Lovely.
It'll be great. Well, thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful